welcome to Walls Fair and Waifu Warfare episode 6 of season 2. There's nobody else here. Ooh boy. Don't want to play that. Alright. So, what did we watch this week? Oh, Yep, there's definitely another person here. Yep. Alright, we watched the Isekai this week. I actually don't know where Mark is. Oh well. Probably did. Oh well. So there were 3 Isekai that I could find this season. Well, sort of. I don't know. There is Death March, Marchen Madchen, and GD Men. Could not find GD Men. Oh well. Doesn't exist. Yeah. So, what were those about? Well, if you've never seen an isekai, it basically is like, there's this guy, and then he's got generally like some cool hair, some shitty hair, I don't know. And then like, he has eyes, and he's kind of a shit person, but then like later, you know, he's OP as shit, because like, why not? Because he's protagonist is, I'm gonna pretend I spelled that right. So the key part of isekai, what isekai translates to, is protagonist is WinRAR, like the application. So in this case, since we're in the modern day, protagonist is 7-zip, or just tar, the Linux utility. I'm definitely competent with this mouse here. Don't worry about it. So the special part about when this thing is the same as this thing is, you see this. So normally in like anything, you have this win-loss ratio. Well, for an isekai, this win-loss ratio, and generally most light novels actually, this win-loss ratio is about, well, it starts at 1-0, then it goes up to 2-0, then it's n-0 for all n. That is not what that means. So for all n, the ratio is n-0, and that's the important part. So you see, the reason this works is because of Pythagorean theorem. You have n here, you have 0 here, and then you also have n here. Therefore, the protagonist is n. And n is short for not a loser. And not a loser translates to winner. So because the protagonist is a winner, you'll notice that they don't lose. So they carry around this sign that basically says, I never lose. And they just have it everywhere. And this is called their MC powers. And MC powers are also known as win powers, because they are the powers that let them win. So normally, whenever you start off, none of this exists. So normally, whenever any isekai starts off, the protagonist is not a winner. So instead, we have 2 cases this week. So we have one that is a really shitty game dev. I would show you, but you see, I can't draw anything. I wonder why. Oh, never mind. I can. I'm a liar. Alright, so they're a really shitty game dev, and they're working at EA or something, because they've got ridiculous deadlines and they don't sleep. And you see, they like look at their computer screen all day, and they sleep here. So they have this like pillow right here, and they have a blanket essentially. So they alternate between here and here, and then every once in a while they talk to other people in the office. And then what of course this leads to is they're developing 2 games, and these 2 games have nothing to do with each other. Actually, I have no idea. It literally doesn't matter. But what this, of course, leads to, the most obvious result, is they get trapped in the video game world. So actually, they're trapped in a merger of their own 2 games. So you could call this the fusion. So of course, this increases their attack and decreases their defense, and lets them summon Pot of Greed. So with Pot of Greed, they can draw an additional 2 cards from their deck. And the first card is... Oh, sorry. I almost forgot Pot of Greed face. Alright, the first card is they have a bunch of evil people. And all these evil people are not actually in here. So they're actually in the game world, which is over here. So let's actually move all these evil people to where they belong, which is not in the office, because nothing actually happens in the office, even though it's half the first episode. Paint actually doesn't let me move things. Interesting. Alright. There we go. So, as a result, they, of course, get all these high levels. So, like, level 49. And because they're all level 49, that, of course, means that if MC kills, this implies level 300 something. Or maybe, let's say, 2,000 something. So because the MC wants to become level 2,000, because the MC is an MC and therefore must be OP, as a result of the theorem we proved earlier, the MC needs... Well, he needs to kill all these guys. So he gets the second thing now. So the second thing is they'll die. And this isn't because the MC is good. This is purely accident. But it's not really accident. It's actually MCOP accident. So you have to prepend the MCOP accident, otherwise the theorem doesn't hold, and really you're not accomplishing anything. So as a result, the MC becomes OP as shit. So with this OP powers, he of course goes finds a bunch of girls or something, I don't know. That's what we're going to stop watching. Alright. And then the next thing that happens is the MC, of course... Ooh, hold on. Alright, so the MC, of course, of the other series also needs to be super OP. So how does that MC accomplish that? So this is more traditional. So the other series is about some girl, blue hair, of course. So we refer to as blue hair. She probably had a name. I never actually caught it. So blue hair is some book nerd. I don't know. So always reading books. So therefore, the power must equal books. Therefore, since we're taking pow equals books, we do book to the power of MC, which is equal to the square root, oh, sorry, I can use actual symbols, the square root of OPAF squared, which is equal to OPAF. Therefore, MC equals OPAF. Except unlike the previous series, where we had a distinct reason. So remember before we had level 300 something or 20xx something, I don't know. So remember, we had a number on this before. So OP as shit was defined by some common trait. But this time, OPAF means random book. So remember, in the series before, the generic relatable protagonist was a game dev. Therefore, win-loss ratio, level somewhere over there, doing a lot of game dev, ends up in a computer world. This character needs a fantasy world. So, therefore, books. So, as we all know, Gödel's classic incompleteness theorem proves that fantasy doesn't exist. Therefore, we can take it as an axiom that book equals OP magic. Since books, due to the theorem we proved earlier, so books are OPAF, and since fantasy doesn't exist, they have to be OPAF magic. And since our main character is a book, or something, this shows that our main character has OP book powers. So unlike the previous series though, so remember the previous series, the main character was a male game designer. Or developer, I don't know. Whatever he's supposed to be. So unlike that, remember the main character is female. Therefore, the main character can still gather a harem. So the harem part is okay, that doesn't actually matter. But the other part is the main character can actually be in the harem. So this is different than this is different than a lot of other isekai. So the nice part about this is you actually don't need to introduce a female character in the first episode, as you can progress your harem without ever needing to introduce an actual main character. You can just introduce a fake character that likes books or something. So this actually halves the amount of time that you need to develop a light novel isekai. Therefore, as a result, Marchen is greater than Death March. And also, we know that Death March is greater than Slow Start. By the transitivity property, Slow Start is still the worst thing I've seen. Don't you agree, Mark? Why, yes, of course. Alright, anyway, so this concludes my proof. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.